there, everyone. I'm Anita Finley, and I'm so happy to be here with you under all these circumstances. And I have a true friend, someone who just helps so many people, and she's always filled with stories. Of course, she lives far away from Florida, where I am. She lives in Las Vegas, and she could be one of those beautiful dancers, but that's not what she does. She's a researcher and a scientist. So Roberta Hladek, thank you for being with us. You know, you are very beautiful. Had you ever considered being one of the showgirls?
No, I don't think so.
Are you as tall as you look?
I'm about 5'8.5".
Yeah, I thought you're tall. Wow. And okay, so I could tell, right? Okay, so of course everybody knows Roberta Hladek. We've had Roberta on many, many years. She's been on our radio show, and now we're doing television. So we're doing the ZOOMERTIMES TV. By the way, before we get started, are you doing some ZOOMERTIMES now?
We're going to work on it because I'd like to do our conference calls that we do every quarter. I'd like to do a Zoomer call. I think it would be fun.
It would be.
To see all the participants that come on the show. I'd love to see them, interact with them a little bit better because I think it's more personable.
Yeah, it is. In fact, Dan, we could probably have 10 of them on with you if you wanted.
Yeah, for sure.
And Dan, of course, is such a genius. He knows if there's any problem, he's right there. We just had a few problems and he helped. So here you are, and you're, of course, in Las Vegas, where many of the visitors, I guess they're still coming and they're gambling. But on the serious side, what you do, of course, is you help people through AIM, which is an incredible technology that you've been working on for so long. It's really energy. It's taking energy from people, from your pictures, from other things, and turning it into positive results. And that's a good way for me to explain it because that's what you've done. So you've always had experiences of people, but now with the COVID-19 and things that are happening, how are you being affected? Do you have any stories?
We sure do. And it's really incredible, the work that, well, I've been researching on this since I first heard about it, which was like mid-December. So I've been researching different frequencies to help us with it, with the anxiety of knowing that it's out there and, oh gosh, what if I get it kind of thing, to things that will help support our immune system and help us overcome it should we get it, because it's like a flu. So it's going to be in the air and what have you. So our chances of getting it are probably pretty good. We just have to take our precautions like we should be doing, like they tell us, wash your hands, all those things that we should have been doing all along anyway. But those things, but also if you have pre-existing conditions, you need to really be conscious of what you're doing, where you're going, how you're interacting with other people if you are, and to be very, very careful and keep in touch with your medical community. But we have kind of a success story, I guess you could call it. My mom, and she's probably going to kill me when she hears this, but she's 92, and that's the part that she doesn't like. So
a young chick. She's just a young chick. Where does she live?
She's in Phoenix, Arizona, actually. And she lives in a retirement community, and she is very active. She swims every day, all these things, and she keeps her immune system going pretty good. Plus, she's been on AIM since the very beginning of AIM. And so she's been on since, well, I've been working with it since 1987. She worked with me, for me for about 6 years before she retired. But anyway, she had a cold, and I was calling her, and I call her every day. And she sounded like she had like a summer cold, and she said, oh, I think it's just from going in and out of air conditioning, that kind of thing. And she's very conscious of it. I made her a bunch of masks, so she wears them as a fashion statement. She had to match all of her outfits and all this and that. So we've been dealing with that because she's quite a fashionista. So, and she washes her hands. She does all that stuff. So she had gone to a karaoke event up at their clubhouse, and they're all sitting far apart from each other, doing everything they could. But we think that might be where she might have picked it up. But the following Friday, this was 4th of July weekend, so I think it was the following Friday, I called her, and she takes her temperature twice a day. So she took her temperature, and she said, I've got a temperature of 102. And I was like, oh my goodness. So I had her take some aspirin, and I called my brother right away, and he went over. And anyway, to make a long story short, she went and got to the doctor to get tested. By the time she got in, which was probably about 5 o'clock that evening, she had no symptoms at all. She had no cold. She had no sore throat. Her lungs were clear, heart was clear, no temperature. And the doctor was looking at her, and he said, did you just want to get tested, or is there an issue? And she told him her son told her she had to come.
Oh no,
So anyway, she was tested, and they did find that she had been positive. So after she got tested, we had her stay home and not go to, anywhere. And we had things delivered to her, and we did all the precautions necessary, but she was fine. She's absolutely fine. She has no symptoms, nothing. And right after she had gone to the doctor, the next day she said she felt fine. She didn't want to stay home, but she understood that she had to till we found out if she was positive or whatever.
So you attribute this to AIM. I know you've said that because she's been on AIM for a long time.
She has been on AIM for a long time, and she really doesn't take any medication. So, which is, kind of.
She's in her 90s, absolutely.
Yeah, she has really good genes. My grandfather lived to be 99. Grandmother, her dad, and then her mother lived to be 94, but she had a lot of lung issues and things like that. But still, 94.
Are you kidding? Of course. So I'm gonna see seeing you for a long time.
Yeah,
that's excellent. So that was good. But she was lucky. She had a daughter and a son to think about and to help her. A lot of people don't have that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Or they don't care like you do.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because there's so many people alone during this time. And honestly, I have noticed with her, because we know that not interacting with people is not healthy for us. And unfortunately, during this time, we've been secluded and not able to really interact like we normally would. Like normally she goes to lunch with a bunch of women. She goes out for dinner with women. And sometimes there's men involved too. I mean, there's a group of them, and they do a lot of social things. And lately, because of this, she hasn't been able to do that, but she does go to the pool at night and swims. So she goes for about an hour, she swims. And so she said there they can interact with people. They stay distant and all that stuff. But I do notice that when she isn't around people, and I'm talking to her on the phone, it takes a few minutes, probably about 15 minutes for her to kind of snap in, I call it.
Wow.
Because
I understand.
Is on point, and she sounds much better. So I make it a point, and I have my brother. I'm one of 7, so I try to get everybody to.
My gosh.
And to keep in touch with her. And I have my nieces and nephews. I tell them, when you get a chance, just pick up the phone and call her just for a few minutes, because it's really difficult. I think it's more difficult on our older generation than it is on the younger generation.
Right.
The younger generation is more on phones, and they don't really interact anyway, right? My nieces don't.
Right.
So, but our older generation, my mom isn't into texting.
So she's not on a computer?
She doesn't have a computer. She just got an iPhone about a year ago, and we're still working on iPhone. But I can text her pictures, and she texts back to me, but she doesn't like to do that. She's more hands-on. She wants to talk. She wants to see you, that kind of thing. So it's been really hard on me, because I normally go and see her a lot, and I haven't been able to.
Right. Yes, so it's a big distance from Las Vegas to Phoenix. Said it was
Yeah,
Phoenix?
yeah,
And
she's surprised.
well, so were there any other things like this that you have had happen with AIM? I know you told us last time you were on, about a month ago, a young man
Hmm.
was pretty serious and he recovered.
Yes, he did, and he's doing really, really well. Um, Honestly, since on our program, I've only known of 5 of our participants that have tested positive. Out of the 5, 3 of them had absolutely no symptoms, but
Huh.
they were tested and they came up positive. 2 have had symptoms, my mom and one other person. That's the only ones that I know on our AIM program right now. So I'm attributing to being on AIM and clearing out all that hereditary dispositions and frequencies, and then using the frequencies available to us, helping us build up our immune system and strengthen our emotional state too, because things come in emotionally first. So if we're strong there, then kind of helps us to maybe ward this stuff off, or maybe if we get it, we fight it off faster and we don't have repercussions from it, and we don't get, it doesn't take a hold of us too much. So I'm hoping that that's the case. I'm knocking on wood every day.
Well, for the people who maybe have not heard you before, and you know, there are always people who haven't read Boomer Times or haven't seen haven't heard our radio. I mean, listen, that happens even with the most famous people and things. So, why don't you give a very short explanation of what the AIM program is? I
What the
always like
AIM
to do that with you so that people hear about it.
Sure. What the AIM program is, it stands for All-Inclusive Method, but what it basically is we take energies different frequencies that we find, and we put them into a computerized system, and we transmit them to you via your photograph. And I probably just lost everybody right there, because the photograph always, it's hard to imagine that. But if you remember that people back in National Geographic times, the Aborigines and things like that, didn't want their
Yeah,
pictures taken because it would
right,
steal energy. They're
right.
absolutely right, because our photograph holds our energy. So that's why we use a photograph. Plus, it's easier for us to know who it is that we're dealing with. We put photographs on these plates that are being attached to the computer. The computer sends the information, the frequencies, which is vibration. That vibration matches with our vibration, and we obliterate the negative vibration and keep the positive. So the negative meaning flus, colds, bugs, depression, whatever it is that we're feeling at the time. And it starts with the emotional, the physical, the mental, all those things, the spiritual. They all are part and parcel of us, and all of those things are have some kind of interaction with what's going on in the world. So whether it's one of the kids is not feeling well this morning and you got to get to work and you're not sure who's going to be watching them, it's a stress on us. So we have frequencies on the program that help us to keep us in balance. It doesn't mean that we'll never get sick, but it just means how fast do we get over whatever we're feeling.
Yeah,
So,
and everybody, energy now is so important. It's always been, of course, hugely important, but people haven't really bought into it. They haven't really understood energy. They think about, energy and, well, we get it from, the wind and the sun. But it was funny. I was walking the other day and I thought, I'm just this pile of energy. I'm not really who I am. I was thinking, and then I saw an iguana. I said, you're the same thing, guy. Just get away from me. You're just a pile of energy. It's hard for people to understand that we're energy, but we're in different forms.
absolutely. And we all have our own frequency, our own vibration that we're vibrating at. We may pick the same frequencies, but our vibrations are very different. So I know there were a time when I was out traveling and there was a couple people that would say, can you do like a matchmaking service? And I said, you could just put us next to someone you think would be good with. Maybe our vibrations will match. And I'm like,
right,
well,
right. I'm sure you've had a lot of things where people will probably say to you thinking that you're someone that could foretell the future, you know?
Yeah, we've been asked if we could pick
I'm
lottery,
sure.
and I'm
Yeah,
like,
well,
oh,
because it's mysterious what you do, but it's proven, and you have thousands of clients who really depend on you, but you've done some really special things. We haven't talked about that lately. People who have autism or
mhm.
other very serious illnesses that, and they are filled with energy, but there is some kind of energy that they have that's, I guess, negative, or I don't know what you call it.
Yeah, we work with autistic folks and also Down syndrome folks.
Right.
So we try to find frequencies in them that will help them to live their best life. And we've been quite successful with a lot of them.
Yeah, and it's when a child is born, a lot of them they don't know that they're autistic. It's the Down syndrome they do, but the autism comes later when they
Exactly.
act differently, right?
They do. And they're some amazing folks. I just think they're so bright and they just can't, some of them, there's different degrees of it, but there's some that aren't able to speak. And it's really, you just see how emotionally stressed they are trying to get across their thoughts and that kind of thing. And it was Dr. Wayne Dyer who's left this world, but he left behind an amazing um, group of books that you can read and all sorts of things. He was an incredible guy, and he
Mm-hmm.
was a very good friend of Stephen's. And he had called us one day and said that he had a girl in his audience, this young woman, and she was autistic. And he asked us if we had ever worked with that before. And we started an Autism Scholarship for Wayne, and he would send us participants with autism. And we made this scholarship program, which is still in place today. And it's free of charge of anyone who has autism frequency and also those with the Down syndrome frequency. And we thank Wayne Dyer for that, because he was the one that brought it to the forefront of us, because we hadn't thought about it before. And we've had some really great success stories with our autism and our Down children. Really incredible things. We have one autistic girl that I've talked about before, and she was one of Wayne's first participants that he sent to us. And she was young at the time, and she came to us and we put her on the program. And she is now, we're going to fast forward to about 12 or 13 years, I guess. She's graduated high school, graduated college, and she's now on her own living. So she's done fabulous.
Absolutely fabulous. And she's been on the program for that long?
Yes. And she always sends us reports. At first, her grandmother would write the reports for her. And then after that, she wrote us a report and she said, I'm the one with this. I should be writing my own report. And she probably wasn't on the scale, maybe not as severe. There's different levels of this, of autism. So she might have been on a lesser, it might not have been as difficult for her. So, but she's done fabulous, and we have others that have done fabulous too. And a lot of it is they have emotional issues because they can't get out what they're trying to say. And these people are super bright, and it's just unfortunate. And so our job is to try and help them to be able to live in the world that we're in and be able to function the best way that they can.
And I thought years ago that you had people that you had talks. I mean, they called in and they talked with other people that had, the parents of the kids that had whether Down syndrome I forget what you did. I was very impressed with that.
Yeah, we have we did a conference call with parents. Right. They got to come on and talk with Stephen, and we recorded that. So we have it on CD that we send out when we have a new child or an adult come on the program with autism or Down syndrome. And we send that CD out to them so they can listen to it. We also have on our website, we have a lot of testimonials from the parents and also the participant with autism and Down. So there's some things that you can look at if you're interested in our program. You just go to aimprogram.com and you can look at the testimonials. We also have a couple very short videos, a couple minutes long, that will show you the trays and show you what we do.
Right, it is unique, and we're so privileged. It's an honor to have you on our show. I don't know anybody like you or your organization. It's very different. It's you know, I call it is unique, and we're in a very big global world, and I wonder if there's anybody doing things like this. They probably would be attracted to you, and you may know of other organizations not doing it exactly the way you do it, but are there other people using energy in some way?
I think there probably is, and I try to keep up on any new technology that I see coming out. Just Evan and I both try to keep up on it, and if we see something, we try to investigate it and kind of see what they're doing, if it's different or what. But I haven't seen anybody doing exactly what we do, because we're different in a way that our technology, we're able to transmit 24/7, 365 days a year. So a lot of these programs can't do that. They can only go for an hour or maybe, you know, a short time. So that's one difference that we have. Plus, I like to pride myself on my research, that I try and keep up on anything new that's coming out as far as frequencies go, and keep our database up to date. I'm currently working on the 5G energy shifts and things that people are feeling. A lot of people say it's bad for us. Some people say it's no different than anything else. So I'm working on.
I don't know much about that. Would you share what that is, please?
Well, the 5G is the new network that's going to be for our cell phones, and they're putting in these big towers. And I'm really not great at how it works, but from what I understand is it makes our phones work way faster, and our computers, all this stuff, transmitting of energy. But some people say it's really bad for the human body. So I've been investigating different frequencies, some stones that I think work. One that I found is Shungite, and it's a black stone. It looks like this. This is a little pyramid that I put on my desk phone.
Oh,
and then I also have.
Where did you get that from?
There's companies, you can find them online. And so I purchased that. And then I also have a bracelet, which I'm not wearing today. I forgot to put it on, but I wear it, and it's good too, because we're always on our cell phones, right?
Yes.
So the bracelet helps as well. But I have this little pyramid one. I have it right by my computer, because our computer does give off some frequencies.
Oh,
plus
I'm sure.
And I've got some other, see where this is a little stone too. It's like a little bead.
Yeah.
And they have some that are on bracelets. So I put these all by the phones. I have them in my home. I have them by my computer in my office, and then I have them.
And is it supposed to absorb something to help?
It's supposed to help us for electromagnetic stress from radio, cell phone, microwaves. It's supposed to help us with that. And I have noticed a difference.
Have you?
Yeah, I do feel better, because I'm real susceptible to electronics. It makes me very tired. So I've noticed that when I have that stuff around the house by all my electronic equipment, I'm not as drained, I say.
Wow. So are you going to sell them as part of your organization?
I don't think so. Like Stephen used to always tell me, you can only be really good at one thing. So we're going to stick with what we know the best.
You're not going to do the pet rock, huh?
No, pet rocks.
Pet rock, you remember that?
Yes,
Well,
I do.
Yeah, but it's I hadn't heard about. And so, what do you call? Is a black stone, and what is it?
It's called Shungite, and
Spell that. I don't.
it's Shungite.
Maybe that's a good article for you because that's really new stuff for me.
Yeah, Shungite is a good one, and I've been trying to work on the frequency of it. So, and I have it on the AIM program, so it's there to help us with electronics and things like that. We get that question quite a bit. People call and ask us if we have anything for electromagnetic stress and all these
Really?
Yeah, it's there's a lot of people that it affects them. I used to not be able to go into like the stereo stores like Circuit City when they were around back a few years.
Yeah, right. Why? What would
there,
happen?
After about 3 or 4 minutes, I would just be drained. I would be so tired and I'd have to leave. So
Really?
yeah, it was really different. I was just one of those people that it would just zap my energy. So there's a few of us out there.
So this is perfect for you.
Yes,
so it's called Shungite.
Really well. Yeah.
Okay, well that would be good, and maybe you take a picture of it, and I don't know if black would show, but if you put it against white, but I'd love an article about that. Just a short little blurb. It would make a lot of people, you'd have to tell us where we can get it also.
Absolutely.
We have to get those people, they should, when you refer that, they should donate some of that money they get back to you.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'd rather they just, we like to keep the figure eight going. So that's an energy thing, money going out, money coming in kind of thing. So I hope that they're successful with their Shungite.
You know what? That's very interesting. I really love that. That's right. I hadn't heard that. So that's the 8. Well, anyway. Okay, so we have the aimprogram.com. That's really important. And are you on your iPhone?
Yes, I am.
It's been very good, as a matter of fact, to do this.
Is it?
Yeah, because it works. Sometimes my computer doesn't work and my iPhone will. So makes it really nice because you can do this anywhere.
Yes, I love it. Yeah, I'm really getting good at it too with you.
Right, but we'll be glad if you want to, if you gave us the names, let's say 2 or 3 of your clients, we could do what we do with you with them, and you could kind of talk with them, and we could do this. It could be fun. Maybe the next time. Is that you think they would mind being on?
I'm sure I can find a couple of people that would love to be on. Maybe we can get Colleen Haney to come on with us.
Oh, she would love that. Yes, let's do that. No, she's good. I had her on recently on something else. Yeah, she's a real pro at that. But I was thinking of your actual patients. I mean, your clients.
Yeah, we could try and they could get a couple of them to come on with us. That would be fun.
Your mother would love it. But could she do it with her phone? No, she's not. Someone would have to be there with her to help her get on it, I guess.
Someone would probably have to help her out with that.
Yeah, well, we could work on it. But I don't want to give you a lot of work because I know you're doing that. Well, I hope we only have a minute or 2 left, so I hope that you stay safe. And, and I feel with being on AIM that even though I'm very cautious, and of course my dog's on AIM and he's doing very well. I mean, we take good care of him, but I attribute so much of this. It's like energy. You can't see it, but it's there. You can't, it's just all around us. So
Absolutely.
People, so that's the way it goes, right?
Absolutely. We got to keep it going.
Yeah. Roberta, thank you again so much. I love you looking so good too. So that stuff's working.
So are you. You look fabulous.
Thank you. You're so sweet. Okay, so we'll talk again. Thank you again.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.